I'd started training, I hadn't really done anything. Tiny bit of boxing with my brother. My brother was an amateur boxer, quite a good amateur boxer, but I always just played football. Like most young kids, I thought I was going to be a professional footballer, so I was playing semi-professional until I was still playing semi-professional when I started training this, but give it up just to take this on because I fell in love with it. I can't stop. When I first started out, my first few fights, I don't know what it was. I seemed to have a curse. I had so many people pull out of fights on me. I was getting ready. I'd have 6, 7 different opponents pull out. I had fights where I've drove to Wales to take a fight and they've pulled out, not turned up to the weigh. And I had one fight I turned up to. I had one hand wrapped and the fighter never turned up to show up. So I was getting a bit frustrated with not having fights. So I was taking fights last minute at different weights. After my last loss, Dave sat me down and he said to me, you're a journeyman now. Your records, you're taking stupid fights, you're fighting at stupid weights, and you're going to end up a journeyman. It really made me sit down and think, if I really want to do this as a living or really push to the top, I've got to start taking it seriously. Getting the fight against Ben McGonigal, I knew he was well looked upon, and I knew if I put in a good performance, there was a chance of progressing towards that title shot. Because I know Dave O'Donnell likes exciting fights. He likes someone who's going to go out there and give it all. I didn't expect to fight Jermaine this early, and it was a bit of a shock to get offered it straight away after that. But the fighting was a pleasure, and it was a bit daunting to start with, thinking about fighting someone that I've watched for a long time. But ultimately, I felt like my skill set was better than his. If he was going to win it, I always felt if he was going to beat me, it would be by knockout or TKO because he's really good. So I just felt by using my all-round game, it was going to outdo his game. My next opponent is a very high-level wrestler. I've seen quite a few of his fights actually. I fought on a few of the shows, and I've cornered people on the shows that he's fought on. And his wrestling's superb. He's got a real good takedown. He times it really well. His entrances are a bit sloppy. His stand-up's a little bit sloppy. But he gets that takedown and he works for the full 15 minutes. He doesn't gas, he tries to work people over. But saying that, I think if he takes me down, he's going to get submitted. If he stands with me, he's going to get knocked out. So either way, he's not a loser. I think everyone knows his game plan. I think if you've watched his fights, everyone knows his game plan. He's going to try and take me down and control me on the ground. I think my range is going to be too much for him for a start. I'm not sure whether he can actually get in and get the takedown. I really don't think he can. My range, I think I'll outstrike him and stop him with strikes. But like I said, if he does get the takedown, then I'm dangerous off my back. I'm going to sweep him or I'm going to submit him. It's either way. My top game's going to be too good for him, and I'll finish the fight. So being rangy helps obviously in the striking. I can keep good distance. If I need a breather, I can keep the distance, keep them off. If I want to strike long, I can strike long. But it also helps in the grappling. Long legs, triangle's going to be there all day. Guillotine chokes, stars chokes, all sorts. It helps. It helps. And I feel like I'm quite big for the weight. I'm hoping to be really busy this year. Like I say, to get injured early on in the year is devastating because this should be my second title defence. I want to be busy. I want to get as many title defences in. I know Ultimate Challenge have got a few more shows lined up this year. I'd love to be on all the shows that they've got this year. I want to be busy and I want to keep winning. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push through unbeaten 2014 and see what comes next year.